Good afternoon, everybody. We are going to get started here in just a moment. We are trying something new today. We're doing a cross-platform stream. We will be streaming continuously through 7 o'clock, at least 7 o'clock, on WMBD Plus, which is available for free on the Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV devices. That does not include your cell phone, but it is free. We'll also keep the stream up on Facebook as long as storms are in the area. We've got a couple things going on this evening on the WMBD Plus. It's not really an app, but on WMBD Plus. So if you're watching that, we'll have the live debate coming up for the Illinois U.S. Senate Democratic primary debate. So that'll be at 7 o'clock. That is why we're going to get off the WMBD Plus at that time for that. And then we'll continue coverage on Facebook as long as there is a risk of storms, potentially severe weather as we go throughout the evening. And I'll keep that stream running as long as possible on Facebook. But they will have reaction to that debate at 8 o'clock on WMBD+. All right, we still got a few minutes. 4 o'clock, we're going to be bringing in our newscast as well. So we'll have a lot of different things going on. But let me give you a quick overview as to what is going on across central Illinois this evening. We do have a tornado watch that has been issued south of Interstate 72. That watch basically runs through 8 p.m. for those areas shaded in yellow. Again, we've been highlighting this area as kind of the main area of concern for severe weather across much of Illinois. It's primarily to our south. Now, it doesn't mean we can't get some severe storms further north. The Storm Prediction Center does have a level 1 and a level 2 threat issued across the area, with that greatest threat generally aligned along and east of the Illinois River. That would include areas like Bloomington down through Lincoln. We've got a level 1 threat closer to Peoria. Basically, the further north and west you go, the lower the threat for severe weather will be. It's been quiet today thus far. We haven't had a lot in the terms of shower, but we've had a lot of cloud cover. The air has also been somewhat dry, but it's become a little warmer and muggier in the last few hours. We got temps now in the lower 60s, and we expect those temperatures to continue to warm up a few more degrees before the cold front pushes back through the area a little later on this evening. In terms of shower and thunderstorm coverage, there you go. We got some spotty rain showers out there, but in terms of severe weather, it's all been flaring up further south. We've had some confirmed tornadoes near Effingham. We've got a tornado warning for Jasper County, Illinois, that runs until 4:15. For Shelby County, severe thunderstorm warning. A lot of these storms producing quarter to ping pong ball sized hail. We're not going to be looking at storms of this magnitude further north. All right. Now we're going to be keeping an eye on new cells potentially developing a little later on to our south and west. I think if we're going to see that development, it'll probably be somewhere in here, and then these storms will start to spread their way northward as we head throughout the evening. So that is what we're kind of be watching out for as we go throughout tonight. Again, I don't think we're going to see a ton of severe weather tonight, but we can't rule out an isolated severe thunderstorm or two. But for the vast majority of us, this is not going to be a significant severe weather event. Most of us are not going to see a severe weather warning at all. Here's the broader view across the region. You can see some of those thunderstorms that have been severe south of I-72, and start to note the new activity beginning to develop there in northwest Missouri and just around the St. Louis area. This could be the start of what eventually becomes our thunderstorms a little later on this evening. Those will be developing along that occluded front that's going to continue to lift its way north through the area, and as that front pushes on through, acts as a focal point for some new storm development. So I wouldn't be, as this area of low pressure kind of sweeps across the northern part of Illinois, we get a nice little surge of warm air and moisture initially, and then the colder temperatures are going to start to push in on the back end. You can just see that cold air. It is waiting in the wings, as they say. It is just off to the west, and will start to push in over the next 24 hours. So it will get colder soon. Let's cut to it, though. Let's get to that severe weather risk as we head through tonight. There has been a little bit of an uptick here with some of the more recent model guidance in how to handle this storm system, but we see that uptick in some thunderstorms. These will not necessarily be severe. Now, our model has these coming through around 8 o'clock. I personally think that's probably a little late by about an hour or so, but you get the general idea that those will push on north. We can't rule out an isolated severe storm. And then as we head through the remainder of the night, there will be a chance for some snow north of I-74 as the temperatures really start to drop. Lows will end up near to below freezing tonight, so some thunderstorms early, a chance for a rain-snow mix late. And then for tomorrow, morning flurries, morning clouds giving way to some afternoon sun. It will be quite blustery. In fact, the winds tomorrow are going to be very gusty. We'll have highs into the upper 30s to low 40s for tomorrow. In terms of the wind gust forecast, notice how the winds really start to pick up tonight. We'll start seeing more frequent gusts, 40, 45 miles per hour, and it is going to stay windy as we head through much of the day tomorrow, especially through the morning hours. So we do have a wind advisory that has been issued for the area through 9 o'clock on Friday morning. The extended forecast, it does get colder, especially once we arrive to the weekend with high temperatures right around the freezing mark on Monday, below the freezing mark on Sunday. Thankfully, the cool down is somewhat temporary, and we'll be back into the 40s and 50s for much of next week. So a lot of stuff going on. We are going to keep this somewhat casual. Again, we'll be in and out of our news coverage as well, so we'll keep what you're watching now on WMBD Plus, what you're watching on Facebook, is going to stay exclusively weather. That is the goal of this. We want to give you several ways to stay informed. Now, are we going to do this with every time we have thunderstorms rolling through the area? That is not our intent. But if there's a chance for some severe weather and we can string together a stream, it is our intention to fully go about it and do it that way. So we want to. One of the things we've had problems for in the past is you would join us for severe weather coverage, and then at 4 o'clock we'd cut away for news. And while news is important, some of you just want the weather, and so this will give you that option to keep watching that weather either on WMBD Plus or on Facebook. I will do my best to monitor some of the chats here on Facebook. Whoop, I got to mute that. There we go. I will do my best to do that. It is going to be a little bit more of a challenge. We're still getting used to this new setup. That said, I appreciate you all being here, but we're going to keep this very casual tonight. And again, as we get in towards the top of the hour at 4 o'clock, and then 4:15, 4:30, we'll have some additional weather hits that still need to be done for the newscast over the air. And so we'll make sure we're doing that as well. The good news is I'm not expecting a lot of bad weather in central Illinois. I don't think this is going to be a significant severe weather event for us locally. So that we've got that going for us. Again, we don't even have any watches issued locally. The only watches that are currently in effect are south of I-72, and that is where the worst of this is ultimately going to end up being. We've had tornado warnings near Effingham already. They'll probably get some more as the afternoon and evening goes on. We might get a strong 2 severe thunderstorm locally, but our chances are much lower. Tornado warning continues for northwestern Jasper County. That continues until 4:15, so that is to our south. You can see those tornado warnings there right along I-70. So these storms have a history of producing tornadoes. We are not looking at something of this magnitude this far north. Looks like we got a 4 o'clock newscast. We'll be starting here in about 5 minutes. And again, don't feel like you have to watch this, right? The idea is the stream is up. So when we get a thunderstorm rolling in, if you got a storm rolling into your neighborhood, the goal is that, hey, I know Chris is on WMBD Plus. I know he's on Facebook, and I know he's on the CI Proud to Go weather app. He's on ciproud.com. You can find us. That's the goal here. We want to make sure that we have somebody on air in the event severe weather comes through. This is kind of a test run. We figured test it out before things get too hectic for us here in central Illinois. That's why we're doing it now. Even though this is not a big event for us, we would rather test this all out while this is kind of a lower end risk for our area. So we want to work out all the kinks before it really starts to matter. I appreciate you all watching on the stream. Again, if you want to watch, you can comment on Facebook. WMBD Plus is the other option for you, and that's Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV. No watches for the area. I'd be surprised, actually, if we actually end up under some sort of watch. That is currently not being drawn up, as the worst of this is going to stay south of us. Careful. Thank you all for tuning in. We got our 4 o'clock newscast will be starting soon. So when that does, we'll kind of get back into it. Just sit back, relax, have a good afternoon. We're going to kind of see how this all kind of works out for us tonight. Carter, I see your question. Are we going to get any severe weather? We can't rule out an isolated warning, but I do not expect this to be significant today. I don't think we're going to have a bunch of warnings coming through. More warnings going off across southern Illinois for tornadoes. Now 30 seconds till the start of the 4 o'clock newscast. All right, so I'll be quiet here until we start, and then we'll get rolling. Good evening. I'm your local weather authority, Chief Meteorologist Chris Yates. We are trying something new today with continuing coverage on WMBD Plus and Facebook Live. Let's take a look at how things are shaping up across the region. 62 degrees now in Peoria, and we are tracking some showers and thunderstorms. Right now, most of the severe weather is south of us, but we can't rule out some isolated severe storms a little later on this afternoon and evening, especially between the hours of 4 p.m., which is now, and about 8 o'clock tonight. We'll have more on that coming up. WMBD News at 4 starts now. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at how things and what is shaping up across the region this evening. Let's take a look at where we do have our current warnings. I'll pause this here. All right, so the ongoing tornado warnings. We've got tornado warnings in effect for Cumberland County until 4:15. Tornado warnings for Jasper County until 4:30. We do have pretty strong rotation showing up on radar north of Newton, also now just to the south and west of Casey. Again, all of this is south and west of Interstate 70. We do not have anything resembling rotation further north into central Illinois. In fact, you don't really have much of any storms ongoing this far north at this moment. Here's what we are watching for. You're starting to see some returns out to the west here, west of Quincy. All right, these will be the storms that could potentially impact us a little later on this evening. As these continue to move off to the north and east, all right, they might start to pick up a little bit better in stability and start to blow up a little bit more. Our future track actually has this advertised. Let me pull up that scene real quick. All right. So here's our future track. So we set this into motion. Okay. Whoop, went too fast. We'll go back over here. We'll go do it the old-fashioned way. Here we go. All right. So as we head forward in time, 7 o'clock. Now I think this model is probably a little slow. I would probably speed this up by about an hour. So about 6 o'clock, I think we're going to get some storms around I-74, and then moving north of the interstate. And then I think by 8 or 9 o'clock, they're moving out of the area altogether. These storms should be much weaker than what we end up seeing closer to home. We are getting reports of 2-inch diameter size hail just north of Dietrich. All right, we got a little hit coming up for TV, so stay tuned. Yeah, Cameron, so we're trying something a little bit new. We are in our digital studio, if you will, and the goal here is to bring you continuous live weather coverage when we have a need to do so. So we're not having to dump out of, severe thunderstorm warnings for a newscast. If there's people who just want to watch the weather, they can. And it's going to be available on WMBD Plus, Central Illinois Proud, and also up on our Facebook where people can then comment and ask questions as need be. You can get this anytime right now. Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, that is where this is available. And more importantly, it is free. So just download it on your smart TV today. It's just another source for you to have weather information. A lot of you like to watch continuing coverage of weather, and we are happy to provide it, especially when there's a time in need. Now, we do have a chance for some strong to severe thunderstorms this evening. We are going to keep talking about that on the WMBD Plus app that's now available on your smart TV, and we'll have more updates coming up here on air here in just a few minutes. Cameron? All right, folks, let's pull up the radar. Let me go through here and try to answer any of your questions if you have them. So if you are watching on Facebook, feel free to let me know. Got something going on tonight and you're curious about the weather in your area, I'll do my best to answer. I do want to just point out, I do not think we'll be looking at much in the way of severe weather tonight locally. Is it possible we get a few storms? Absolutely. I just don't think those storms will be all that strong, other than one or two of them. Okay, here's the ongoing warnings. Tornado warning for Clark County, Illinois, until 4:15. Just to the east of Effingham at Jasper County, Illinois, till 4:30. These storms are moving to the east. Get an accurate speed on here. 30 miles per hour, so that's about right. Tyler's asking us next week. Looking next week, so far so good. We'll keep an eye on it. There's a couple of more systems coming in to keep the weather pattern somewhat active. It is looking colder to start, though. Michael, tell Brady I said hi back. Kimberly Bartonville, I'm not expecting anything overly strong there, but we can't completely rule out an isolated severe storm. I think storms will probably be rolling in between 6 and 7 o'clock in that area. And we're starting to see that next next set of storms beginning to develop here. So these are the ones I think will carry the greatest tornado risk. These are the ones that are going to impact us. All right, they're not terribly strong right now. They're just a few developing showers, but these are the ones that'll be heading our direction with time. Richard Cullum, probably looking more at just rain. There will be some thunderstorms later tonight. And unfortunately, the rain we get is not going to amount to much. Quarter of an inch to a half inch if you get a thunderstorm. If somehow missed out on the few cells we have, out of the few cells we have, you're probably not going to pick up much of anything. So it's not a big rainmaker. We don't expect any improvement in the ongoing drought. Let's pull this up. We do have some garden variety rain showers up north, and so far that's about it. We did have one confirmed tornado earlier today near Effingham. Trevor, an isolated severe storm to Washington, Peoria, but we do not expect anything too severe this far north. You might be looking at again, hail, gusty winds. Is a tornado possible? Sure, but that tornado risk is pretty low. Here's the tornado risk. So it's a low category for our entire area. We've been kind of focusing. I think the better risk for this stuff has been south of 72. So far, that has happened. And I think that's the way it's going to stay. I do not expect things to trend worse. If anything, I think they'll trend even better in the short term. But we will be getting some storms tonight. So just be prepared for it. We do expect scattered thunderstorms to impact the area this evening. They do become likely. I do think most of us will probably get some rain, which I wasn't sure it was going to be the case. It was initially looking like maybe these things will end up being very hit or miss. The trend has been for it to be a little bit more scattered, so there's some good news in terms of some rainfall. But again, I don't think it's not going to be enough rain to make a difference. But the overall severe threat has not changed. It is still quite low. And we are getting ready to do a hit here for TV, so we will stay tuned for that. Eastern Will County probably won't be looking at anything severe up there, car guy. You can see all the tornado warnings going on across southeast Illinois. And just to reiterate, we are not going to be seeing anything like that this far north. do have a tornado warning for Clark County that was just issued now. And that is all south of us. Thank you. Yeah, Catherine, a lot of options here to watch these, right? We want it to be as easy as possible for people to pick up and watch a stream if need be. So that's the goal. Give people options. You don't want to watch weather, you can watch the news on TV. If you want to watch the weather, it's right there in your hand or on the WMBD Plus on your smart TV. Caleb, absolutely. Linda, doubtful you'll get anything significantly bad. We do expect showers and storms, though, to come through. All right, welcome back. We are watching scattered thunderstorms starting to develop to our south and west. There is active severe weather ongoing further to our south and east across southeastern Illinois. Here's a look at our weather headlines. Storms this evening, turning windy tonight, and a chance that winter-like weather could be returning, specifically the cold air in the next couple of days. Here's a look at where we have some watches. We've got a tornado watch that is in effect until 8 p.m. for areas basically south of Interstate 72. I don't expect this to be expanded into our area, but that is where the greatest risk of severe weather will be. Now, there is a conditional risk for severe weather locally. What do we mean by conditional? It means if we can destabilize enough, we can't rule out an isolated severe thunderstorm. It has gotten warmer. Temps are back up into the 60s. The dew points are back into the 50s, so there is some instability there. Is it going to be enough? In my opinion, the storms are probably coming in a little too late to do anything too crazy, but we do expect to see an uptick in some thunderstorm activity. Areas west of the Illinois River pretty much in a level 1 risk. Areas to the east in a level 2. Those level 2 threat areas include Bloomington and Lincoln. So if we are to see severe weather, those areas shaded in yellow are most likely to see it. We do have some pockets of sunshine out there, right? The temperatures have started to warm up a little bit. It's now 62. We were around freezing this morning, if not below that. So temperatures have warmed up nicely. Peoria at 62, 60 in Bloomington. And looking at the radar, there's really not much to talk about. It's been pretty quiet. And we don't think that's going to change right now immediately, but we are starting to pay attention to some cells, and it doesn't look like much, but we're paying attention to some of these thunderstorms with developing showers west of Quincy. These are the ones that are going to be heading our general direction as we kind of head throughout the rest of the afternoon and evening. And again, some of those storms could be strong to severe. With large hail being the primary threat with some wind and an isolated tornado is possible, but I want to reiterate that tornado threat is quite low. And you're seeing where the severe threat has been a little bit more robust. You got that first round of storms there south of 72. You got another round beginning to develop. Both of these rounds are going to be severe for areas of downstate Illinois. The storms for us are closer to the area of low pressure. Sometimes those can overachieve a little bit, so I don't want to downsell that necessarily, but there is some potential for these storms to become strong to severe. I just don't think we're going to be dealing with widespread severe weather locally tonight. And notice the cold air to our north. You can see that area of low pressure near Kansas City. That cold air is going to be coming in behind it. So it is going to be getting much colder over the course of the next couple of days, and we're really going to start feeling that tonight. Here's Feature Track. We'll advance this forward. Again, showers and thunderstorms start to redevelop. Our model has this coming in around 8:30. I think that's about an hour and a half too late. I think 6 and 7 o'clock probably seems more realistic, and then it's all out of the area by late this evening. But we can't rule out some snow showers on the back end as the temperatures drop. So lows down into the upper 20s, low 30s tonight, Peoria 32. As we get into Tomorrow, morning showers and flurries pushing out, decreasing clouds. Really, the downside to tomorrow, it's going to be very windy, especially in the morning. We've got high temperatures, upper 30s to low 40s. So talking about a shock to the system, temperatures will be dropping significantly. Here's the wind gust forecast. As that area of low pressure passes by, the winds really start to pick up, and we see those gusts 40, 45, locally 50 miles per hour, and we will maintain that through tomorrow morning, and then by noon they start to relax a little bit. So we do have a wind advisory that is in effect through 9 o'clock on Friday morning. Beyond that, the colder weather is pushing on in. We'll have temperatures into the lower to mid-30s through the weekend, but we are back into the 40s and 50s by Wednesday. Don't go anywhere. More local news coming up after the break. All right, folks, we did that hit at 4 o'clock, 4:15 on WMBD, so we'll get back down into more of a focus on the storms. All right. Ooh, interesting.